Hi, and welcome to this overview of SyncEzy's Simpro to SharePoint integration and the SyncEzy portal that you use to set it up and to manage it. Within the SyncEzy portal, you'll see any integrations you have up and running, and you can simply click on the Details button to enter that, and that will take you to the integration dashboard. From here, we can see an overview of the activity for this integration. So with the Simpro SharePoint integration, we can see a list of the number of jobs. On the next tab, we can see the details of the integration. We can see the instance of Simpro that you've got connected, including company ID if you've got multi-company set up, as well as the account you're using to access the SharePoint account. We normally recommend using a service user here for all the transfers that go into SharePoint from Simpro. We then have some different functionality here. You can turn on metadata, which allows you to have the metadata from Simpro come across and added to the SharePoint job folder. We also have the ability to put a SharePoint link into Simpro so that you've got that included in the job itself. We are able to rename special characters. So if a document has illegal characters in there that won't be saved correctly in SharePoint, we can rename that, replace that character with a hyphen. We've got the ability to turn on or off the sync delete function. So with syncing the deletes, if a document is deleted in one system, then it will delete it in the other. And you've also got the ability to put in a limit for how many documents can be deleted in a 24-hour time period. And that can be adjusted to your company needs. We email through statistics of usage, and then we can determine how often we want to do this. And you've also got the ability to change the name that appears on your dashboard of your account when you're looking at the Simpro SharePoint. So if you did happen to have different integrations for the different companies within Simpro or any other integrations, you're able to rename that to make it easier to identify the correct one for you when you're looking for it. You're able to add in up to 5 notification emails in case we need to send you anything about the integration itself and how it's going, or if there's any errors we need to alert you of. The other thing we've got the ability to do is convert Simpro data to text. So against any job or quote, there's going to be lots of data that's locked into different fields within Simpro. What this does is simply takes that data, puts it into a text file, and then adds that into SharePoint, which assists when you want to do any searching of documents or the projects to actually find that information. It appears in the search and helps you get to the right part of SharePoint. And when a new document is loaded onto Simpro from SharePoint, there's 2 radio buttons which are normally you need to tick or untick, which is the email button and the public button. This basically just replicates that functionality, so you can choose the default settings. So when a document is uploaded from SharePoint into Simpro, you can then choose whether you want the default to be the email ticked and the public ticked. Once you've got all the settings in place, the next bit then is the configuration. So if you, there are 2 types of configuration. There's automatic setup and manual setup. Automatic setup allows you to choose one location within SharePoint where you want all of the projects to go to. And we then basically, any new jobs that are created within Simpro will automatically be added to that group. Alternatively, you can use manual setup, which allows you to pick a project or a job or a quote in Simpro and then link that to a particular folder within SharePoint. This works if you've only got a small number of projects, and then each new project, you can then add that and manually set that up. For organizations with a higher cadence of new projects, we generally recommend using the automatic setup because that takes care of it for you. We've got the ability to put in here a folder name configuration for the automatic setup only, which allows you to then just put in some information. So obviously job ID will always be the primary identifier, and that will always appear at the start. But you've then got the ability to choose what other information you'd like to have in the folder name. So here we've got job name, customer and site name, but you've got a few other fields here that you can take from Simpro and include in the folder name if you'd like. When we're ready to go with the automatic setup, You can click on this, you then go through and choose what type of job it is you'd like to do. So in this case, let's do sites. You then choose the location within SharePoint. And then select the library, and then select the root folder. And once that's ready, you can select this location, and once you save that path, that integration is then set up. Any setup ones will appear here. You can come through and delete these if you need to at a later stage. But once it's up and running, all that needs to happen then is you can then go into new Simpro and you can go and use SharePoint and use those end systems. If you would like to look in more detail into the integration from the portal, the File Manager tool allows you to go in and select the particular tool type and then choose the project or the quote, etc. Once that's done, you'll then see from a Simpro side the folder structure and any documents, and on the SharePoint side, again, what's been replicated. And when it's syncing successfully, you'll see all these ticks here. You'll notice there's a cross down here for the text file. So because obviously all the data is in the Simpro fields, the text file only needs to be created in SharePoint, so we don't then sync that back. So this is the document that's automatically created if you turn on that function. From here, if you want to dive into either system, you can click on this link, and that will take you into that particular project. And the same applies for SharePoint. This takes me into the folder within SharePoint for that particular project or job or quote. The next tab along here is Data View. We're able to go in and have a look at the different data modules or data logs that we've got stored. So you can go in here and have a look and see the different configurations that have been set up and the history of those. You won't need to come in here and look at these. This is something that we use if we need to go in and look at anything on your behalf from an investigation point of view. But the information is available for you to go in and look at if you'd like to. The sync status just gives us a quick update on the different activity that's happening in terms of syncing of the documents and the files. So you can see here that a sync queue started for a particular job, and then the sync is completed. And the last one here is the knowledge base. This just opens up a new tab, which includes articles on how the integration works and all the information that surrounds that. So if you have any questions or you've got any queries about how something might work, this is probably the first port of call. But then after that, if you come back in here, if you have any questions at all that you need answered, if you click on the 24/5 support, that will start up a chat with us. It'll just capture some information and your contact details, and then it'll pass you through to a live agent who we can then go through and deal with your inquiry. If need be, we can also kick off an online meeting from here so we can then share screens and we can see what you can see as well. So this is the best way to get support. If there is another way that you prefer to send it through though, on the Contact Us page, you'll be able to send through an inquiry or send an email through to us to support@syncezy.com, or you can give us a call if needed. But the chat is probably the best way because it gets picked up and is monitored 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you. Bye.